rib. And when I do this with the rib, I like to have a sponge on the outside. I hold it with 3 fingers behind and my thumb on front. And that's just going to support. And I tend to, it's a little awkward, back to that left-right, what feels right. But for me, it feels right to take my left hand, scoop it underneath. Okay, and so that rib is going to, or the sponge is supporting the rim. And I'm just going to let the rib make contact with the length of the rim. And then I'm going to fold it down. So I'm going to take the point of the rib, and I'm just pushing down. And as I push down, I'm also going to compress where my pointer finger is, where it's coming into the bowl of the plate. So this has a real shallow, this area of a plate or a bowl is called the cavetto. So this is a really shallow cavetto, which I like. If your rims are real high and this is real deep, like more of a pasta bowl, sometimes it's hard to get in there with your knife and fork to cut meat, right? Which I realized on the first plates I made for my parents. So just to over-exaggerate, what's happening with the rib is it's coming down this way with the point, but then I am also compressing this way on this area right here. That helps to compress that part of the rim into the face of the plate and keeps that nice and tight, right? So that it's going to want to stay bent that way. As plates dry, the rim, naturally this is going to shrink first and the rim's going to want to pop up. And just let it pop up and it'll fall back down in successive firings when everything else evens out. If you threw it the way you want it, just leave it. Because I made the mistake once. I had 20 porcelain plates for 2 dish set orders. And the rims all popped up, and I thought I was going to be real smart and put them back on the wheel and push them all back down. And then what ended up happening in the firing is that extra bit that I pushed them down, they fell beyond the way I originally threw them. So they returned to where I originally threw them, but since I pushed them down extra, they fell that much more. So all the rims were like this.
Oh, wow.
So my sister's got a lot of plates. But so just bear with it. You know, if you've thrown it the way that you want it, it'll end up that way in the end. I'm fairly sure.
Huh.
And then I just pull the wire really tight and use the spin of the wheel to help me wire it up.
Da-da-da.
So that's it. So I would just go in then and trim a regular foot ring on there afterwards. So hopefully on Tuesday I can do that. Will someone please cover this?
I will.
Before they leave? So that's the basic step. So it's essentially the same. You're centering low and wide, and then you're just going to open it up.
That third thing helped with this.
Yeah, that's a really good trick.
I didn't know that. 'Cause I was thinking I had to take it and pretty much make a roll all the way down, and then fold over.
No.
So.
I mean, but notice the width of where it is now is the width that I opened it to. So you really want to, that's the other thing, is not only the thirds, but however wide,
You want the base of the plate to be.
However wide, large you want this to be, that's where your kind of first patty is going to be. Like the width of that patty will determine the face of the plate, because you don't want to necessarily pull it open beyond that original centered disc, because then you get rolls and inconsistencies.
And then this is the height of your final pull. Fold it over.
But encourage it out on, you know, each pull, and then that rib just
and making sure you keep a good amount of clay thickness so it doesn't move over. Excellent.